10 tips to become a great songwriter. Number 1, study the greats. In early 2001, I was trying to survive as a street musician in Santa Monica, California. But the problem was I only sang original songs. So guess what happened? No one gave a shit. I was broke and desperate to succeed as a performer. I walked up and down the Santa Monica Pier checking out the other street performers. I saw a 6'3" Dane singing campfire versions of Guns N' Roses and Pearl Jam songs. He was making a killing. I thought that I was at least as good as this guy. After his first set, I asked him how he got so good. He said, I learned a lot of covers. So that's exactly what I started doing. I would go into any music store that had sheet music, copy the chords by hand into a notebook, and then immediately try the songs out on the street. A year later, when I moved to New York, I was making my living singing on the street in no time. I had honed a huge repertoire of songs from the greatest songwriters the world has ever known. Learning those songs not only kept me alive, but taught me invaluable lessons. Phrasing, lyric writing, chord and key changes, rhythm, and writing memorable melodies. Number 2, volume. Write as much as possible, as often as possible. The famous painter Picasso worked on a farm. His neighbors were other farmers who were unaware of their famous neighbor's pedigree. They thought he was just another farmer because he kept the same brutal hours that they did, up early and working deep into the night. This is how you approach your craft. Inspiration through perspiration. Arranging and songwriting always came easy to me, so I would tend to wait for inspiration to strike. Then I started working with other great writers and producers and watched them work on a melody. They would try every melodic possibility for hours and hours. I watched because I was waiting for inspiration to strike. Meanwhile, this other guy is writing several albums right in front of me. From that day forward, my work ethic changed. Volume was the key. Number 3, record yourself. Tape does not lie. I'm not talking about auto-tune. I'm talking about finding out whether your songs are good or not. Does this idea work? Record it. Is this a good vocal melody? Record it. Do these instruments go together? Record it. Does the chorus drag? Record it. Is this lyric good? Record it. Get used to recording and documenting your ideas. Use voice notes, paper and pencil, a tape recorder, 8-track, it doesn't matter. By the way, if you don't own recording equipment and are thinking about recording your songs in a professional studio, that is not the time to find out if your songs are good or not. Number 4, work with other writers. Lennon-McCartney, Jagger-Richards, Rodgers and Hammerstein, Simon and Garfunkel, the Neptunes, the Dungeon, Ashford and Simpson, Holla, Dozier and Holland. Some of these artists went on to do incredible work as solo artists. However, when they were starting out, they learned from each other. In the beginning, you don't know anything. Working with others will give you real-time feedback about what's working and what's not. You don't need to write with someone famous. You need to find someone who you think is great, who you enjoy working with, and who can contribute to your songs. Every artist has a great song within themselves. When you write with other writers, you learn to conjure great albums worth of material on demand. One final thing, all those famous writers I mentioned have something in common with each other. They share credit for who wrote the songs. Number 5, respect the vocal range of the singer. You may be an incredible singer with a 4-octave range. However, the artist you're writing for is a legacy artist who only can sing in 1 octave. What are you going to do? Make them sing this impossible thing that they can't sing? Whether you're writing for yourself or others, please keep the artist's vocal range in mind. This is no place for ego. Ego will tell the artist he can sing a song that's way out of his vocal range. Vocalists are vulnerable. They are asked to do the most difficult part of songwriting, delivering the message of the song. They get all the credit if a song communicates and all the blame if it does not. They need champions and allies like yourself. Number 6, count the syllables in your melodies. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. 7 syllables each line. This is not a law, but if you want to start striving for consistent, awesome melodies, start counting your syllables. This will help you if you run into problem areas regarding rhythm and tone. Some consonants flow together better than others. Do you need all those thes? Is there another word instead of like you can use? You get a real grasp how the melody functions on its own, devoid of instruments. Can it be sung a cappella and you still love it? That's a big one. Nothing is forbidden, do what you want, but I would keep it in mind. Number 7, keep your melody's start and end points consistent. If the first line of your melody starts on beat 1, maybe line number 2 should also start on beat 1. Maybe. You don't want to be boring, but you also don't want the listener to get lost. In the song Hotel California, the verse melody starts on the and of 1, while the chorus melody starts directly on the 1. You decide. However, I'd keep a close eye on where my melody starts and stops on. Number 8, experiment with arrangements. Bohemian Rhapsody starts a cappella. My Girl from Benny King starts with bass. September from Earth, Wind & Fire starts with bass guitar and percussion and piano. Let's Go Crazy from Prince starts with an organ. Georgia on My Mind starts with a full orchestra. Layla ends with a lamenting piano and guitar solo. Sicko Mode changes several times within one song. Popular starts with the synth. Moonlight Sonata is all piano. Billie Jean starts with drums. Royals is drums and voice for the first 30 seconds. Get busy experimenting with your arrangements. Number 9, mood over meaning. Howard Stern asked Chris Martin of Coldplay what was the meaning behind their song Yellow. He said, it's about nothing, a feeling more than anything. Now, I'm not telling you to write about nothing. What I am saying is the feeling of your song is more important than a clever lyric. How many times have you loved a song and not had a clue what they were saying? What are the rest of the words to the chorus of Staying Alive from the Bee Gees? I'll wait while you Google. Don't sacrifice feeling to be clever. Mood over meaning. Number 10, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. You don't have a lot of time to grab people's attention these days. Get to the point and get there fast. Start your song with the chorus. Chuck the pre-chorus. Do you need 2 verses before the chorus? Is this bridge really necessary? Maybe we should reconsider that 6-minute intro. Prince overproduced When Doves Cry in the beginning, only to strip it down to its bare essentials later. Drums and voice. Learn music theory. You don't need to know a ton, but you should have a grasp of the basics, how to put chords together, major, minor, diminished, and augmented. What are the keys? What does diatonic mean? What's the difference between a dominant 7 and a major 7? I wish somebody would have told me this 30 years ago. If I'm being honest, this is the true unlock for songwriters. Understanding music theory helps you understand yourself as a writer and artist. If you can understand yourself, you'll be able to write for anyone. Knowing a 1-6-4-5 progression in all 12 keys is a great starting point. My name is Richard Shepard. I hope these 10 tips were helpful and useful to you. If they were, follow for more.